What is up, good people, and welcome to the All Basketball Podcast. And I'm your host, Maurice Dixon, coming to you on a Friday afternoon, the 23rd of October for the year 2020, to talk to another coach in the Metro Atlanta area, high school coach, I should say, about the upcoming season. It's going to be somewhat of a different season, but hopefully we will get a full season in. I have the pleasure of introducing two-time champion coach Darron Rogers of Westlake High School. How you doing this afternoon, Coach?
Hey, man, doing great, man. It's good to be here.
Definitely glad to have you on. I really appreciate you coming on to join me on the show to talk about some basketball, which should be on the horizon pretty soon, hopefully.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So when you hosting tryouts, whatever, because I guess pretty soon, early next week you can start practicing according to the GHSA guidelines.
Yes. First, excuse me, I'm having to wear my mask. I'm in the school building, so now they're requiring that we all wear masks, and I may have a little class behind me. But yes, we're preparing for the upcoming year. We have our tryouts starting next week on Monday. Our trials will last 5 days, Monday through Saturday. Then we'll choose our ninth junior varsity and varsity team for the 2020-21 season.
Okay. So what are some of the guidelines as far as Westlake or the region that you have to overcome now during this different time we're in?
Well, there are quite a few guidelines. One, they have scaled back the schedule. We have several counties that we play who cannot play in tournaments. Clayton County, DeKalb County, and Atlanta City are not permitted to play in any tournaments. So, of course, that left a lot of games for each school to make up. They also have Clayton, DeKalb, and Atlanta City that won't allow any fans. So Fulton County does allow fans, but that stripped the coaches of the opportunity to go and scout. So that has been a somewhat of a hindrance. We're now having to schedule our games with the possibility of maybe having to make up a game or two, because if any kid catch COVID or have COVID that is in your program, that program have to sit out 10 to 14 days. And then we have to have room somewhere in the schedule to make those games up. Then if those games are not made up by the end of the season, by the end of January, you may then forfeit your state playoff. So we're leaving a week after February just to make up games. And we put a clause in our region protocols that if we do end up at the end of the season with some situation with COVID, we're going to have to go with our winning percentage and not even play a region tournament. So those are some of the things we're faced with right now.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, this virus has really changed up a lot of things. How have you had to adjust as far as coaching? And usually you get something done during the summer, but everything, I guess, was shut down, and now you kind of expect to get back in it pretty soon.
Yeah, everything was shut down. We usually participate in a fall league. We get an opportunity to kind of get an idea of some of the guys we're going to have. We weren't able to do that. Fulton County, even with workouts, they didn't allow us to start working out until about September, the last week in September, the only time we actually was able to see the kids and when we did work out, all we were able to do was just condition. You couldn't have no open gym or none of that kind of stuff. And even during the workouts, they have protocols with that. We have to take temperature of every kid to come in. Every kid has to wear a mask. Every kid has to bring their own water. Every kid has to bring their own hand sanitizer. Every kid has to wear a mask through the duration of the workout and the conditioning, whether in the gym, weight room, or on the track.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow,
So,
yes. Oh, go
so
ahead.
fortunate we've been in a situation where we haven't had any incidents of COVID, but the protocols and the restrictions have been something new and kind of tough to deal with. But hey, we're gonna make it do what it do.
Most definitely. So, through speaking with some of your players, how have they been, I guess, getting their work in or getting shots up or anything pertaining to improving?
Well, being at Westlake, we have several kids who can't afford trainers. So most of our varsity players are dealing with trainers. A few of them play some AAU games. So most of our major guys who are returning and who plan to be a serious part of our program, they are getting in work. They sneak out and go play in the community. Of course, I've given them a no on that one. And but they do sneak out and they play, so they've been getting games in. And then we do Zoom meetings and virtual meetings, and during those meetings we get our workouts in, we do our ball drills. So you find ways to make sure that they are ready and that they are keeping them fundamental skills together.
Okay, good to know. Uh, earlier you were talking a little bit about the schedule. So what do you have, I guess, kind of confirmed at the moment? I'm hearing that some big tournaments are being canceled or they're going to be regulating how they do them, or how many people they let in.
Yes, we had a real big tournament that I always enjoyed participating in. That was the Nate Smith tournament. They canceled that one, and we're really looking forward to it. This one will take place over at Norcroft High School. So that has been canceled. We hosted a tournament over here called Hard in the Paint by Under Armour. We had several teams in that. That was canceled. So those are games now we have to make up. They had a tournament over at Woodward, sponsored by Coach Ant.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Thomas at Woodward. They canceled that tournament. They canceled all the tournaments in North Clayton. So the Peach State Holiday Classic had to be moved. That sponsor director's looking for another place to play his tournament. So all schedules now are kind of like up in the air. We're still trying to fill in games. Everybody's kind of put in a mess now that you gotta find games because these tournaments are dropping.
Oh, so with the tournaments, I know you have region play. So how many games do you think you have in stone, if that's the right word, right now?
Well, so far, I have 22 games. The limit is 25.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to pretty much fill my schedule, but I still have 3 games available. Our girl coach, 3-time defending champs, they still have about 2 or 3 games left also that they can fill. So we've done pretty good by calling and getting those games filled that we lost.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I recently discovered that you're moving regions. You'll be back in the region with Langston and some other teams. How did you just how'd that come about?
It wasn't something that the basketball program here at Westlake wanted to do. We like playing 7A ball. We like playing the best teams in the state. Not saying that they're not in 6A either, but it was pretty much a move by our AD. And since we're right at 2,000 students, of course we could have chose 6A or 7A. They opted to choose 7A this time for whatever reasons.
Okay. I want to go back another COVID question. I saw some of the HSA guidelines come out, and one of them that really stuck out and people were really, I guess, puzzled by was the jump ball. What are your thoughts on the jump ball being taken away?
Well, it's just now you got to come up with a different strategy. Of course, if you got a 6'8" athletic guy, you want to win that tip and try to score the first basket and set your defense up and put a team under stress from the beginning. So that strategy is gone. So now with the flip, with the I guess the flip of the coin, or whoever's going to have the ball first, you got to come up with another defensive strategy. But that wasn't a big one for us. Anything we can do to make sure we can keep kids as safe as we can and to not interact in certain ways like jump balls and stuff like that, I was fine with it.
Okay. Any of the rules you don't necessarily agree with?
Well, of course, now you're in a situation where if any of your kids catch the virus during the region tournament or near the region tournament, well, I would say during the region tournament, you're then kicked out the state. They won't move any of those dates to accommodate anyone who may have the virus or any team to have the virus. So if you got to wait out 14 days and you're right at the tournament, you lose that option to play. You're kicked out, and then the next team is called up. They've done that in volleyball, so we've seen a few teams. Somebody had a case of the virus. That team then had to forfeit their opportunity to play in the state, and then another team moved up. So the same thing gonna happen in football. The same thing gonna happen in basketball.
Okay. How do you think coaching will be different this year as opposed to all of your previous experience?
It's gonna be somewhat of a challenge if you're an older coach and you got some underlying condition, diabetes, heart, high blood pressure, something like that. You got to be very careful with how you handle your kids. Washing your hand, face mask, all these things. Of course, I'm gonna be wearing my face mask during the game, probably a face shield. I'm gonna be doing everything to keep myself safe. I'm gonna follow all the protocols with the players. They are not allowed to use the locker rooms, water fountains, things like that. So it's gonna be different, but it's not gonna be so challenging that it's gonna, I think, stress those hardcore coaches who are in it because they love the game. Now, if you just in it for the money, you might be one of those coaches that is getting to. But if you just one of those coaches who really love it in your heart and you want to see a great team out and you want to see some good basketball, I think we're going to be good to go.
Okay, that's good to know. With that, with the season right around the corner, picking a team, new players coming in, what are your expectations for the Westlake boys team this year?
Our goal always is set to be one of the top teams in our region, one of the top teams in the state. Had nothing changed on that. We're going to be working hard. We're going to put a competitive product out on the court each and every night. And whoever have to play us going to have a serious team to deal with.
Okay, that's what it's all about. Tell me about some of your players you're expecting great things from or to lead you guys.
Well, we lost one of the best players in the state, one of the best players in the country, Darron Rogers. He left to go to Michigan to play with the best player in the country. So that kind of set us back just a little bit. But we got a senior, Chris Johnson, been on the varsity for 4 years. We're expecting great things out of him. We have 3 starters that were 10th graders last year that started. And they're now juniors. Jalal McKee, about a 6'3" wing. Donald Davis, another 6'3" wing. We had a senior point guard that was backing up Dylan that'll be with us. Then we got some young babies, about 6'5", 6'6", coming up from our junior varsity. That was pretty good. That's going to come in and I think going to help us out a lot this year.
Oh, okay. Did you have any players transfer in?
Um, we have a couple transferred in that we're looking at trying to get eligible. I want to put those names out until that eligibility come back. But yes, we did have a couple to move in.
Okay. And did you have one other guy leave out? I saw Jalen Caruth. Is that correct?
Yes, Jalen is no longer with us. Who was a heck of a player, 10th grade, about 6'4", 6'5". He's no longer with us. That's
Okay.
one. That's one where we lost two with Dylan, which was a
Mhm.
sophomore that would be a junior, and Jalen, who was a sophomore that would have been a junior. And they both started for us last year. But hey, next man up.
Hmm. Yeah, no doubt. I saw Dylan Hunter playing back when Chase Hunter played. That's the last time I really saw you guys, I just recently saw a little clip of him on Twitter. Like he's coming along. He's very athletic. He was athletic then, but I guess he's growing into his body and everything now.
It really is, really is.
Uh, I guess a couple of players who moved on who I saw also seem to be doing pretty well at the college level. Quincy Oliveri and Chase Hunter. I know Hunter, it looked like he had an injury last year, but are you still in contact with those players? And
Yes, I'm in close contact with definitely Chase,
okay,
checking on his injury. His foot is well. He should be in a position where he's going to be fighting for a starting position at that guard spot at Clemson. Quincy, that's kind of like my stepson, so he calls
okay,
me almost every day, every other day. They have him on the front page of Rice's, I think, Twitter or their media guide or their website. So he's doing well. They're expecting some great things out of him. And then he also is on the honor roll. He does good academically. So I'm looking forward to following both of those guys. And Chuma, I'm in touch with him also. Just to mention him, he's doing well. He's rehabbed well. We may see some great things out of him this year in the league.
yeah. Where is he at again? Because I know he was kind of just
He's at he's at the Magic Orlando.
he's in Orlando. Okay, okay,
So he's rehab, man, and he's looking good.
okay. That's
So
good.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah, he had a awesome tournament run there for Auburn before he got hurt when they made it to the final game against that was no they final four against Virginia. Yeah, he had an awesome run, but he got hurt in the North Carolina game, I think.
yeah, he did. He
Yeah, but
did.
he he was giving it to my boys. I was like, man, come on. Yeah, he had quite a game. I was like, I seen him play, but you're killing my boys right now. But excuse me.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game.
Uh, I guess as far as last season, the 10-20, not a great record, but you did advance to the playoffs and got a win there. Just how do you look to use what you had, the good points of last season, to move into this season?
Well, last year was a growing year for us. It was the youngest team I've ever coached in my tenure. I had a team of 10th graders,
Okay.
and we lost a 6'11" center that last year to Prolific in, I think it's in California.
Okay.
Frankie Angeline, who's now with I think it was Syracuse.
Okay.
So we lost him. I didn't know I was going to lose him. So I scheduled a national schedule with that group, with Frankie being in the center. So every national tournament we went to, they had placed us with 7-footers or 6'11s or big people to play against. So we took some hard shots early. They had us down as playing one of the toughest schedules in the nation.
Mm.
We played all the top teams out of Atlanta with 10th graders and all the top, well, with sophomores, and pretty much most of the top teams out of the country. So when we came back and played in our region schedule, and everybody saw our record, that we had a losing record, they kind of took us for granted. But we didn't play some of the top teams. So when we got down to the tournament, we played teams. We had played at least 10 teams that was better than the teams in the state. So, of course, we went down. We beat Cherokee. And then the team we lost, I think we lost to Newton by 3 at Newton. So it was just great to see those guys grow, get better. And at the end, people who had counted us out, we beat a lot of teams in that region tournament just to place third in it. And then, of course, we ended up having a successful season by moving on to the state Sweet 16 and losing to Newton County.
Okay. Okay. You well, they set a plan in place, but not this season, not next season, but the 2022. I'm counting wrong, but basically we have a shot clock finally coming to Georgia. They're doing it in intervals, getting everybody giving everybody time to get the equipment, get set up, and then using it in tournaments. Then eventually it'll be, I think it's an option. Then after that, it'll be, you definitely have to go with it. What are your thoughts on shot clock coming to the game here in Georgia?
Man, I've been fighting for a shot clock pretty much for about 15, close to 20 years. Every time we get in a meeting, I'm fighting for a shot clock because I've had some talented point guards that have left and had struggled in college because they didn't have one. So how is it that you got all the colleges, you got pro, but in high school you don't have a shot clock? It don't make any sense. There should have been a shot clock in high school years ago. They've had them up north and they've been successful. The cry was, it's going to cost too much money. So if you're really thinking about the development of the kids and giving them an opportunity to go to college level and be successful, then it should have been a shot clock. So I'm glad it's coming. I'm glad it's finally going to be something that's going to happen in high school ball. And I can't wait to have one. We never had a problem getting up shots in 35 or 30 seconds anyway. The great thing about the shot clock now is no team will be able to just hold the ball with a lead. Now you just got to play basketball. So it's going to change the dynamic just a little bit, but I'm glad to see it here.
Most definitely. No one will be able to use the strategy you used in the game. Chumo KK won. It wasn't the greatest thing to watch for the 3 minutes to drain off the clock, but coaching wise and just thinking everything through was a great strategy. Hey, we're going to hold the ball unless they press us, and we're going to take the last shot.
Exactly. And, nobody want to play that kind of ugly ball, but, I really wasn't. I kind of was trying to send a message, but not really. Mm-hmm. Because I don't like slow down ball. I don't like stalling, but the rules are what they are. And if you can use the rules to your advantage, I thought sometimes with certain teams, if they're not as smart as you want them to be with the ball at the end of the game, then, hey, standing out there holding it, and then hopefully that coach will do what he did in our situation and then come out and press us and gave us the opportunity to take the last shot. Mm-hmm. So you won't see that again once the shot clock is here, though.
Yeah. Once it gets unless it's under 30 seconds, and then you got right. to just decide what you're going to do. Well, we just got as far as basketball, when the virus came in, it cut off college. Most high schools, I guess, across the nation got their state champions crown, but the NBA the Lakers recently won it in the bubble, and it was a success. I was kind of skeptical about it at first, but it worked to a T. What are your thoughts on just what the NBA and WNBA were able to do as far as that bubble and get the 2019-20 season concluded?
It was brilliant. It was the roadmap for every other sports entity to take up. Even possibly high school, you get down to the regional state tournament, Final Four, and you want to make sure you prevent your kids from getting the virus, you may have to bubble them, find a hotel, and put your high school team in a hotel for that weekend just to make sure that nothing happened. Because if you're in the Final Four, the state run, and one of your kids contract the virus, it's a wrap. You're done. So, you know, it's a good example that was set. And I think high schools may even consider trying to use it. I enjoyed the games. In fact, I didn't miss one. Lakers are my team. I'm a LeBron fan. So I picked the Lakers even when he picked Anthony Davis, or he helped to get Anthony Davis. I knew the championship was coming then. At least I had a good idea that it would.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely well said. They may have to, maybe something they want to look into it. It's a proven method. It was 100% effective. if
It sure was.
if nothing else. I think that's about all I have, Coach. Anything else you would like to add before we close out the show?
Just wish every coach success. Don't take the virus lightly. Make sure you follow all the protocols, because it's all about keeping your kids safe, but then also keeping us safe. And good luck on your seasons. And hey, basketball to me is always the #1 sport in the country, not football.
I'm right there with you, Coach. But that's all I have, Coach Rogers. I really appreciate you coming on the All Basketball Podcast, talk with me, and keep my eye out on the team and see how this season plays out. Hopefully, everybody gets their games in, and no one else gets sick, and we have a vaccine before you know it. But
yes, sir. Well, man, have me on again. I enjoyed it.
Same here. I will do. Thank you so much, and stay healthy.
All right, man. You too. Be blessed.
Well, folks, that's all for this edition of the All Basketball Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Maurice Dixon. Thank you so much for listening. We thank Westlake coach Darron Rogers for coming on as well. Remember, just stay healthy. And until next time, peace and be blessed in Jesus' name.